Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Doctor Strange is officially joining Spider-Man in the upcoming Spider-Man 3, a Far From Home follow-up that is blowing open the live-action Spiderverse with Jamie Foxx, Electro, and reportedly others from past Spidey films. And with Doctor Strange's sequel, Multiverse of Madness, being directed by original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man director Sam Raimi, the Sorcerer Supreme Stephen Strange, confirmed as Tom Holland, Peter Parker's guide through the multiverse, is really the final piece of this puzzle, solving how all of this madness will work. Essentially, last week Sony gave us some multiverse plot holes, but this week Doctor Strange revealed those holes to be sparkle portals, and we, as the America's ass facing oblivion, are grateful for the backup.
I feel like a god to them.
Thank you.
Is that everyone? Like you wanted more?
Hell yeah, we want more! We will not rest until Peter says Norman Osborn 3 times into a mirror and then Willem DaFoe pops up. Avenge me! No! That's the Avenger we deserve! Let us break down the huge implications of this news and the wild plot this Spider-Man Doctor Strange team up will probably have. Spoiler warning in case I'm right. Okay, Doctor Strange joining Tom Holland Peter Parker isn't just the elder mentor MCU team up that Tony Stark was in Spider-Man Homecoming or Nick Fury was in Spider-Man Far From Home. Hell, even those were more game-changing than we thought they were going to be going into them. Iron Man ended Homecoming by unveiling the Iron Spider armor that would enable Peter to join the fight in Infinity War in an Endgame. Fury ended Far From Home by revealing himself as a friggin' Skrull shapeshifter with his real self playing Hide the Slipper with more Skrulls in space. Got my shoes! I believe setting up the Fury series or a future Secret Invasion plot. Doctor Strange will continue that mentorship evolution, which if you've been watching closely has already been discreetly set up in past films. Peter met Doctor Strange in Infinity War aboard Ebony Maw's Q ship.
What is he, your ward?
No. I'm Peter, by the way.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, you're using your made-up names. I'm Spider-Man then.
But then Peter returned in Endgame and he rambled to Tony Stark about a conversation he and Doctor Strange had.
Do you remember when we were in space and I got all dusty and I must have passed out because I woke up and you were gone, but Doctor Strange was there, right? And he was like, it's been 5 years, come on, they need us. And then he started doing the yellow sparkly thing that he does all the time. What are you doing? Oh, this is nice.
And in this moment, I think Tony recognized Peter moving on to a point in his understanding of the universe in which he no longer needs Iron Man. The smartass who once called Peter Tony's ward is now a more apt guide to help this kid navigate a fractured reality. And looking ahead to their partnership, there was one overlooked moment in Far From Home that we have to revisit.
There are multiple realities, Peter. This is Earth, Dimension 616. I'm from Earth 833.
I'm sorry, you're saying there's a multiverse? Because I thought that was just theoretical. I mean, that completely changes how we understand the initial singularity. We're talking about an eternal inflation system, and how does that even work with all the quantum? It's insane.
Now, of course, Mysterio was full of it. He wasn't a warrior from another universe. He was just a bitter ex-Stark employee exploiting a nerd's imagination about quantum mechanics and alternate realities.
The story you created of a soldier from another Earth named Quentin fighting space monsters in Europe is totally ridiculous and apparently exactly the kind of thing people will believe right now. I mean, everybody bought it.
But as Marvel head Kevin Feige himself confirmed, that does not mean the multiverse doesn't exist still.
Just because Quentin Beck makes up lies about the multiverse doesn't mean it isn't real.
And Peter's nerdy multiverse fascination remains. And there was one crucial line from the Ancient One during Doctor Strange's inaugural trip through the multiverse that I think is going to be very important to his stewardship of this particular nerd.
The universe is only one of an infinite number. Worlds without end. Who are you in this vast multiverse?
But to explain why Peter will need a multiverse hopper like Doctor Strange in his next film, when at the time his main concern at the end of Far From Home seemed to be clearing his name from Mysterio's attempt to frame him with J. Jonah Jameson's Doctor News footage, we have to look at how Marvel's interweaving narratives for Phase 4 will link together, and how each of these titles will change the game in their own unique way. I will admit that in order to make these connections, I do have to spend a lot of time watching movies and TV for work, but I often don't have time to read books anymore. I miss reading books, but thankfully I am back in the book game with the sponsor of this video, Blinkist. So Blinkist gives you the best key takeaways from over 3,000 nonfiction bestsellers condensed down into 15-minute blinks, which you can read or listen to on your phone, your tablet, or your web browser. See here on the app homepage, I can see all the blinks that are for me that are recommended. Things like the Checklist Manifesto, The Gift of Failure. They also have some recommended audiobooks like Super Immunity, Change by Design, Sun Tzu's The Art of War, which I have been applying to defeat Tommy. Blinkist also offers its members exclusive original content from top authors and creative thinkers and full-length audiobooks at a great discount for premium subscribers. Over 14 million people use Blinkist to deepen their knowledge in topics like self-improvement, mindfulness, parenting, happiness, and more. I could bang out 1 or 2 whole books on Blinkist in the time it takes me to make dinner or run an errand. They've also got some real bangers on there, including Deep Thinking by Gary Kasparov or A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking, which is even briefer when you consume it via Blinkist. The first 100 people to go to Blinkist.com/newrockstars are going to get unlimited access for 1 week to try it out. You'll also get 25% off if you want the full membership. That 7-day trial is completely free and you can cancel at any time. So check out Blinkist at Blinkist.com/newrockstars. So Spider-Man 3 is increasingly looking like a live-action Spiderverse story, with Jamie Foxx Electro last seen in a separate film universe, J.K. Simmons, J. Jonah Jameson also from an additionally separate film universe, Marvel's multiverse master joining this story, and yeah, past Spider-Man director Sam Raimi directing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, coming just a few months after Spider-Man 3. All of this evidence seems to confirm what fans have been hoping for, a live-action version of the widely successful Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse that adapts the web of life and destiny from the Spider-Verse comics in a way that reconciles the good and the bad from past Spider-Man films, that brings back Tobey Maguire, brings back Andrew Garfield, and hopefully leaves this universe with a live-action Miles Morales and a live-action Gwen Stacy. But how do we get to there from here? Well, let's look at Marvel's now first official Phase 4 title, WandaVision. Based on the recent trailer for this Disney Plus series coming before the end of 2020, it appears as though Wanda Maximoff is contained in a pocket reality that her chaos magic allows her to warp. She is being monitored externally by SWORD, Sentient World Observation and Response Department, and there is some evidence that she is being manipulated internally by evil forces like the Witch Agatha and Marvel's Devil Mephisto. Famously, in the House of M comics, Wanda Maximoff warps all of reality in the Marvel world into alternate universes. That may be what we are seeing here in WandaVision, with SWORD trying to confine that reality warping to a small town, but Wanda's chaos magic could burst out of that bubble, maybe thanks to those evil entities, and flood the entire known universe. And while a universal reset could seem like an insane level of power for a Scarlet Witch who previously was just doing like hand dances, Kevin Feige did confirm that Scarlet Witch is the most powerful character now in the MCU.
As of Endgame, in your opinion, who would be the strongest Marvel hero?
If you look at Endgame, Wanda Maximoff was going to kill Thanos. If he hadn't desperately, that's as scared as I've ever seen Thanos. And if he hadn't said, decimate my entire team to get her off of me, I think she would have done it.
In the comics, Wanda's mutant abilities stem from her being cursed by the demon Chthon as a baby. Canonically in the MCU, her powers derive from the Mind Stone via Hydra's experiments with Loki's scepter. The Mind Stone, if you remember, was the final Infinity Stone Thanos plugged into his gauntlet. It allowed him to simultaneously link with all minds of the universe so that he could dust half of them. Perhaps WandaVision will compound these backstories. Wanda cursed with dormant magic by a demon as a baby, but that magic was unlocked for her to use by the Mind Stone as a young adult. And now in WandaVision, Vision is back, Mind Stone back in his head, at least in this projected reality, and maybe that stone's return is evidence of Wanda's ongoing Mind Stone derived powers, which allow her to warp all of reality beyond the small town when she has a psionic meltdown triggered not just by losing Vision, but by losing the illusion of her children. That would set up a Marvel Phase 4 in which the entire MCU is shattered into various Elseworlds. In one Elseworld reality, we see a Black Widow spy drama with Yelena Belova. That could end with Natasha on a different path than the one that ended with her dead in Endgame. Another Elseworld, Shang-Chi, where superpowered individuals fight in tournaments for the 10 rings. In another Elseworld, Eternals, resetting reality with an ancient history that establishes mutant kind as a normal part of this world. All of these alternate timelines could be the backdrop of Loki on Disney Plus, scheduled to come out early to mid-2021. That is confirmed to feature the TVA, Time Variance Authority, Marvel's timeline enforcement agency that polices the broken timelines and those who break them. So if you have trouble keeping all the broken universe shards straight, don't worry. I'm sure Time Cop Owen Wilson will ka-chow it down on a hollow screen or something.
Are you kidding me? Of course, why not?
But really, all of this madness will boil over, it sounds like, in Spider-Man 3. Of all of the Marvel heroes that I've been talking about, Spider-Man has the richest comic history, webbing together various alternate Spider-Verses via what it's called the Web of Life and Destiny. It's an interdimensional nexus that bridges together Peter Parker's Earth 616, Miles Morales' Earth 1610, Gwen Stacy's Earth 65, etc., etc., etc. So perhaps Spider-Man 3 opens with Peter Parker having to give up being Spider-Man since the public turned on him after Mysterio getting visited from Doctor Strange through a sparkle portal. Kid, shut up for a second and just come with me. And then Doctor Strange flies Peter through the multiverse, a shimmering web with each section within those web strands containing a glimpse into an alternate reality, kind of like the moments in time reflected in the interstellar tesseract. Maybe one moment shows Tobey Maguire Peter Parker fighting Doc Ock on the train. Maybe another moment shows animated Miles Morales fighting Kingpin. And during this, Strange repeats to Peter the words the Ancient One told him when she opened his third eye. Your universe is only one of an infinite number, worlds without end. Who are you in this vast multiverse? But this time, Doctor Strange is telling him this because he needs Peter to understand that he is not the only Spider-Man, that Peter Parker shares that title with an endless array of doppelgangers and counterparts, including Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, Miguel O'Hara, Spider UK, Billy Braddock. Strange needs his universe's Spider-Man to face an interdimensional crisis, a band of villains hailing from different universes, hijacking the fractured reality post-WandaVision, coming together as the Sinister Six. Their goal, to eliminate each of the Spider-Mans from each of their own respective universes. I mean, you know it's gonna piss off Tobey Maguire Peter Parker when danger invades his world from a broken doorway.
You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
I mean, the elements of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films have to be important because, again, Sam Raimi himself is directing the immediate next part of Doctor Strange's battle that this Spider-Man movie is now looking like the first act to. Raimi even called this shot 16 years ago.
Doctor Strange. That's pretty good. But it's taken.
How did he know? I mean, seriously, this is looking like a crazy crossover. Spider-Man 3 could be the Infinity War cliffhanger to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness as the endgame resolution. And with Scarlet Witch confirmed to return in Multiverse of Madness, it is now even more likely that she will be the multiverse villain that Doctor Strange has to find and save so that she can wake up from her nightmare and use her chaos magic to collapse the Multiverse of Madness into one stable combined universe going forward. Look, folks, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man are going to team up in some way to face a multiverse-based threat that will involve past alt-universe villains like Jamie Foxx Electro. This is fact. It is confirmed. So to me, this is the way forward that I think makes the most sense based on everything else we know about the current state of the MCU. Even if Jamie Foxx plays a new version of Electro, the classic green and yellow suited one instead of his Dr. Manhattan look as is being reported, why would they go to the trouble of casting Jamie Foxx? Why not cast someone new and probably less expensive? This connection to the Andrew Garfield universe is obviously crucial to whatever story they have planned. Yes, it is confusing, it's a mysterious move, but bringing in multiverse pioneer Dr. Stephen Strange is the clearest imaginable answer to that mystery. And I am kind of thinking a title like Spider-Man Home World would be interesting, but that rumored Spider-Man Home 6 does still kind of work. I'm curious to hear your title pitches. You can also discuss these theories with me on New Rockstars' official Discord server by becoming a patron at patreon.com/NewRockstars. Subscribe to New Rockstars, hit that notification bell, follow me on Instagram at EA Voss, follow New Rockstars. Thank you for watching, and you know what, let's drop that home conceit from the title and just title it this: Spider-Man Pizza Time.